If you've ever struggled to lose that last little bit of weight, this is the episode for you. We're going to talk about what stubborn fat is, and I'm going to give you 5 tips that you can start using today to combat it. So stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome to the Digital Barbell Podcast. Thank you for being here. I'm Jonathan. I'm your host for today. If this is your first time finding us, make sure you subscribe before you leave if you like this kind of fitness and nutrition content. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'd appreciate it if you hit that little like button. It helps us out a lot. Maybe you're listening to this and didn't even know we had a YouTube channel. You should check it out. It's just youtube.com/digital barbell. Here we are. Today, we're going to be talking about stubborn fat, and I'm feeling like just getting right into it, so let's go. If I had a magic wand, I would wave it over all of our clients to make them lose their first 10 pounds from their bellies and thighs. We'd have a never-ending stream of praise and testimonials, and we could raise our prices to $1,000 a month. Blakely would buy a brand new Mastercraft ski boat, and I'd deck out our Airstream with all the latest accessories. But we got to get back to reality. The truth is, the places that we want to lose fat the most are often the last places that we shed that weight. For men, that's typically their bellies and their love handles. Even at my leanest, when I was around 8 or 9% body fat, I could still grab fat on my love handles. For women, the last bit of fat they usually want gone is on their hips and their thighs. So why is this the case? Well, not all fat cells are created equally. When we eat fewer calories than we burn, our bodies tap into our stored fat for energy. This process, known as lipolysis, releases stored fat as fatty acids, which we then burn for energy. Chemicals called catecholamines are produced to trigger this process. They attach to the receptors on fat cells, and then they can release their energy. Okay, here's the kicker though. The fat cells in our stomachs, thighs, and hips, well, they're not as sensitive to these catecholamines. That's why the fat in these areas is often the hardest and last to lose. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about targeted exercises to lose fat in specific places? You've seen Instagram fitness gurus talking about spot reducing fat, right? We always keep it real here, so here's the God's honest truth. You cannot spot reduce fat with specific exercises. I wish doing 1,000 leg raises or crunches would make the fat melt right off your belly, but it just does not work that way. Just like you can't pig out and tell your body to store those extra calories as muscle only, you can't trick your body into burning fat in specific places. It's just going to do its own thing. Similarly, there aren't special foods that cause you to burn more fat or target specific areas on your body. The fact that certain fat cells are more resistant to shrinking doesn't mean that all hope is lost, though. It just means that those cells are going to take longer to shrink or disappear. If you're consistently eating in a calorie deficit, you will eventually lose fat, even the stubborn fat. But beware of thinking that you're in a calorie deficit when you're not. The 2 most common reasons that stubborn fat never disappears is that you're turning a blind eye to the little licks, bites, and tastes that you think are insignificant, and or you're in a calorie deficit during the week and a decent-sized calorie surplus on the weekend. An experienced coach can help you navigate both of these challenges. But don't lose hope. Here are 5 actionable tips to finally drop the last of that stubborn fat. Are you ready? Number 1. Stick to the basics. If you're just starting your fat loss journey, get yourself into a caloric deficit by monitoring your food intake daily and tracking your body weight. Ensure that the scale is dropping and stick with it longer than you probably think necessary. Number 2. You got to break through plateaus. If you've hit a plateau in your weight loss journey, consider eating at maintenance for a period of time for about 4 to 6 weeks. It'll let your hunger hormones reset, and it'll definitely give your motivation a reset too. Then go after a short-term, more aggressive deficit of about 20 to 25%. Research does show that this can be effective for stubborn fat loss, but it can be a little bit tough because that's a pretty aggressive deficit, which can often lead to hunger. All right, number 3, check your protein intake. If you're not making progress, check how much protein you're eating. If it's significantly less than about 1 gram per day per pound that you weigh, you might want to try bumping it up. Not only will this ensure that the weight you lose is fat and not muscle, but it also might get the needle moving because protein burns more calories to digest than carbs or fat. If you'd like to see how many calories and protein we recommend for your specific case, you can check out our calculator. I'll put a link down below in the description. Okay, number 4, check your training. Incorporate lots of heavy weightlifting and throw in some high-intensity cardio. A 2011 study from the University of Western Ontario found that short, intense sprints were more effective for fat loss than an hour of low-intensity walking. So if you've been avoiding getting your heart rate up and getting uncomfortable, it's probably worth a shot to lose the last of that stubborn fat. Okay, number 5, manage your stress. High stress, poor sleep, and overtraining can 100% block fat loss. Stress and sleep in particular are like the first domino in a long row of dominoes leading to fat loss. Knock them down first, and the rest of your results will come so much easier. Go to sleep instead of scrolling. Don't say yes to everyone else's requests, and certainly don't focus on things that are outside of your control. And how much body fat you carry is within your control. Stick to the basics and seek help from a professional coach if you need to. I really want you to be wary of unrealistic claims and people on social media that are just really blowing smoke and trying to sell you fancy fixes, because there are plenty of people out there. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email and I will reply the same day. My email address is jonathan@digitalbarbell.com. And again, if you like this video, please subscribe and hit the like button so you see future episodes and you help us out too. If you'd like to see how you can work directly with our team, just check out the description below. Have a great day.